Hey guys, it's Chris Rowe, True Market Insiders, and today I'm going to give you something that is going to blow your mind. It's going to be so exciting. It's more exciting than cryptocurrency. It's more exciting than the stock market and more exciting than commodities. Today I'm going to talk to you about compounding your returns over time. Super exciting, I know, but this is one video that you might want to show your kids and really try to ingrain this into their minds, because over the last, since 1995, I've been a professional investor. I'm a market analyst, I'm an economist, I'm an investment banker, I'm a technical analyst. I own an investment research firm, I own a money management firm. But since 1995, the one thing that I have not been able to figure out is how to get my kids to listen. So even I, who have, I have thousands and thousands of people following me, paying for investment guidance and investment ideas, my kids, they still won't listen. Can you believe that? They can Google me and they can find out that they should be listening to me. But in any case, I want you to show this to your kids. I'm going to try to say it in the simplest way possible. So let's get excited, kids. Today we're going to talk about compounding interest. Compounding interest is something that's very, very easy. It's a way to make more money than your parents have. And you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to do any work. All you have to do is to invest a little tiny bit of money over time. If you invest a little tiny bit of money over time, maybe your allowance, maybe you can do some chores around the house, and you can regularly invest that money, then you can incredibly increase your wealth, and you'll be able to buy a house, you might be able to buy a car, you might be able to buy a pony, you can buy anything that you want to if you compound your interest. So here's how we're going to do it. Anybody can Google compound interest calculator. It's very easy to find. We're going to use a website called NerdWallet because nerds are cool nowadays. So I'm on a cool website. We have no business relationship with them whatsoever. I'm also going to go to an inflation calculator just to show you something. Now, inflation just means that the same money that you have today is not going to buy you as much stuff in the future. So in 30 years, this $1 that you have in your hand right now is not going to buy you the same thing that a dollar can buy you today. It's going to be able to buy you much, much less. So if you just save your money and it just sits there, you might save $100 for 30 years, and it's not going to buy you as much stuff in 30 years as it can buy you today. So if you look 30 years ago, in 1992, back when the dinosaurs were around, $100 saved for 30 years, you take that same $100, you know what it gets you? It gets you the same thing that $50 would buy you today. Okay, so your $100, it's like it turned into $50. Okay, so you basically lost half of your purchasing power. You can buy half as much stuff. You can only buy half of a pony if you saved thousands of dollars. So let's be clear on what compounding actually means, compounding returns. Well, if you look here on your screen, you can see that in month one, we started with $100. And if you add 10% to that, very simple math, you get 110. 10% of 100 is 10, so you're adding $10 to your $100, resulting in 110. But now you have $110, and if you earn 10% on $110, you actually end up with $121. So you didn't just add another 10 onto this, you added an $11 onto this, because 10% of 110 is $11. All right, and then you have $121. Now that you have $121, 10% of $121 is actually 133.1, but we're just going to put 133 in there. So the point is, on month one, you added 10%, meaning you only added $10 to this. So if you only added $10 to this, then month one you added 10, month two you added 10, month three, month four, and month five, that would be a total of $50 added to your $100. But instead what we've done is we've ended up with $161 because we compounded the interest. We earned 10% on 110, then we earned 10% on 121, and so forth. So let's look at how that looks on the NerdWallet calculator. So let's look at the inflation calculator since 1992 going out to 2022. That's the last 30 years, and it says if you had $1, that same item would cost $2 today. And by the way, kids, the government lies to you. This is based on government numbers. It's much, much worse than this. But we're going to go with these numbers because I want to make my point nice and clear. So just in order to keep up with inflation, just to make it so that your $1 doesn't get cut in half, we have to actually double the value of that $1 over the course of 30 years, just so you can have the same purchasing power. You want to buy a whole entire pony. So compounding interest calculator, we're going to start with $100. And we're not going to add anything to it yet, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to add to it regularly, but we're going to start nice and simple, nice and basic. $100 over the course of 30 years. And you can see the chart on the right is going to change a little bit. And we're going to go 30. We're going to press 30 here. All right, and just hitting this button 30 times or something, 25 times. So now we're at 30. So if you have $100 over the course of 30 years, and you don't grow that money with any interest or any investment return at all, it's still going to be $100 in 30 years. Remember what we said, that $100 doesn't buy you as much stuff. It buys you about $50 worth of stuff in 30 years. So let's see what it's going to take to get you to double that $100. So estimated rate of return, I'm going to keep hitting the plus sign, and then look at the right side. If you have a 1% return, that means you earn 1% every single year, and you compound that interest. That means you take 1%, so you take that $100, and in year 2, it's worth $101. If you earn 1% on that $101, the following year, you earn more than $1.01, and so on and so forth. But if you look at the future balance, the green part is your profit, and the blue part is what you've invested. Let's see what happens if you invest at 2%. Look at how much more profit you make. Now your $100 is worth $182. But remember, we need to double your money just to maintain that purchasing power. So we're going to go to 2.5%, and your future balance is $210. So yes, you turned $100 into $210, but inflation caused the value to be cut in half. So really, it's like taking your $100 and turning it into $105 in today's value. So what makes a lot of sense to do is to try to get a better return than 2.5%. 2.5% is a very low return. You can get it pretty easily if you invest the right way. It's not difficult to get. In fact, I'm going to very easily double this to 5%. And if you invest just at 5% over the next 30 years and you compound that return, you see the blue part? That's what you invested in total. You invested $100. You didn't add to this at all. And your $100 is worth $433. Remember to cut it in half. So it's like taking your $100 and turning it into $217, let's call it. Okay. Now, let's talk about saving your money. You start with $100, which I know your parent is going to give you. See, I'm taking care of you. But $100, if you add $10 to that every single month for the rest of your life, okay, add $10. All you have to do is once a month, add $10 to this. Let's look at what happens to your $433 at 5%. I'm going to click. Let's see. We're going to go $10. Enter. Instead of $433, you have $8,407. Look how much you've contributed. That's the blue bars. And in 30 years, your $3,700 earned $4,707, leaving you a total balance of $8,407. You're going to want to cut that in half because of inflation, but that's okay. This is the same thing as swimming against the current. You know how the water, say a river, is going in one direction? If you swim against that, sure, you're facing these forces, but you're overcoming it and you're still gaining some distance. That's what you've done here. Inflation is the current that's moving against you, but you have to swim harder than inflation, which means in this case, you have to swim harder than 2.5%. So we got up to 5% and we added $10 a month. Let's see what happens when you add $20 a month. You add $20 a month instead of $8,407, you have $16,382. Now I want to show you something. With the power of compounding your interest, let's look what happens if you take that 5% return and you're only going to add 2 percentage points. You're going to get 7% return. If you get 7 instead of 5, your $16,000 is now $23,442. And look how big those green bars are. If you add another 10 years to this, instead of 30 years, you do this for 40 years, it becomes $49,430. So the power of compounding is huge because look at the green bars, how much bigger they've gotten. And I have good news for you. Number one, you're going to live longer than 40 years, so you should definitely do this. Number two, 7% is an easy return to get. You don't have to know anything about the stock market. If you just put your money into the S&P 500 or any general stock market index over time, 7% is totally achievable. Any long-term, multi-decade rate of return is something between 6.5% to 9.5% for the stock market. 7%, very, very doable. And all you've done here is you've invested, if we hover over, All you've done is invested $9,700 over time. Not a heck of a lot of money over time. Now, here's the key. Actually having the money is not difficult to do. Forming the habit where you actually do invest another $10 or $20 every single month, that's the hard part. So I need you to form that habit. Forming habits, you're going to find, is the most difficult thing in life. But if you can make or break any habit in 30 days is what they say. So if you could do it every single day for 30 days, or if you could do it every single month, let's just say for a year, I'm sure you'll form that habit and you'll stick to it. I heard a story about somebody who was very overweight. They were out of shape and they needed to lose weight. So what they did was somebody sent them to the gym every other day. And they told them, go to the gym every other day at 8 o'clock, exactly 8 o'clock on the dot. Do not be 1 minute late. Get there at 8 o'clock. And all you have to do is exercise for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Exercise for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, most people who understand about exercising will say that 5 minutes or 3 minutes every other day is not going to do anything for you. But it wasn't the exercise that got this person down to a great physical condition. It was the fact that they showed up every other day at 8 o'clock. Because if they can show up every other day at 8 o'clock and maintain that habit over time, they're going to exercise for more than 3 minutes or more than 5 minutes. It's getting there. The exercise itself is not the hard part. It's getting yourself out of bed. It's getting yourself off the couch. It's getting to that spot. Well, this is similar. Okay, most important things in life is your health, your family, and your wealth and your happiness and your friends. So wealth is going to help you with your happiness, probably help you with your friends too. So what you want to do is you want to invest over the long term. You want to compound your interest. You want to create a habit, invest just a little bit of money every single month without fail, and you can turn your $9,700 into almost $50,000. That can buy you a house. That can buy you a car. That can buy you a pony. You can buy most things with that. I'm Chris Rowe. I'm the founder of True Market Insiders. I hope in 10 or 20 years you're still watching my videos. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment, ask a question. I'll answer your question for you. And share this with your friends if you like. But most importantly, subscribe to my channel and I'll keep making videos for this and publishing them for you on YouTube. Again, this is Chris Rowe, True Market Insiders. Take care.